Thank you very much. Chief Justice Adarsh Goel, Chief Justice Guwahati, Mr. Kailash Satyarthi, founder of this very important organization, Bachpan Bachao Andolan, my brother, judges of the Guwahati High Court, Mrs. Kabir, Mr. and Mrs. Chaudhary, Bhabiji, and all those who are present here this afternoon. It is with a purpose that we are here today. I quite share the questions which have been posed by Chief Justice Goel, but I feel that although these questions are very, very relevant, we will still have to make some headway and start at least a process by which we are able to do whatever little we can to eliminate this grave, grave situation of child labor. The fact that we have child labor in this country, or it's prevalent, is not something new. It is also prevalent in other countries as well. The only thing is that there are certain countries which are affluent, there are certain countries which have certain systems in place, as a result of which this problem can be taken care of. Today we have this problem, as Chief Justice Goel said, about the financial and economic condition of our families, especially in many of the areas, rural areas, and then on account of the lack of work in the rural areas, those who come to the cities, as far as their children are concerned. Today we have a big problem as far as migrant labor is concerned. You have migrant labor growing from all parts of the country to different places. You have agricultural laborers going from Assam, Bengal, going all the way to Kerala, all the way to Punjab to work over there. Why? Because of their economic problems. They do not have sufficient work. They don't have lands. They're landless people. But they have to look after themselves. So they migrate. Without that, they don't have that kind of education. There isn't so many job opportunities, as a result of which they are forced to migrate. These are circumstances of compulsion. It's not something which one may willingly want to do. But by sheer force of economy, they're forced to do it. And when they move with their families, they move with their children. They can't leave their children behind. These are the children who ultimately become a large part of a city, a metropolis, who are forced into work while their elders, their parents, are also working in construction sites, in other places where there is, what you require is brawn, muscle, and not just brains. This is one section. Then you have another section of people. Those children who are deliberately trafficked, those children who are deliberately brought to the cities and metropolises for the purpose of, let us say, with the promise that they will be given work. You have these agencies working all over the country. Everybody knows about it. They come to these areas, they come to the places where people are very economically, they don't have the strength, very vulnerable sections, and they come and offer jobs, offer this, offer that. We'll take your child to Delhi, we'll give him a good job as some play or some office or the other. A girl, we'll put her in some house as a maid. There are agencies which are working. Ultimately, these children who are taken there, they may not be all right thinking, good thinking people. There are agencies, there are certain agencies who take these children and they do offer them to families. They take care to find out what kind of families they are before they put them into employment with them. But now it has become a trade. It has become a curse that children are taken, boys and girls. Girls who are a little younger, they are put into house, work in houses as maids. Many are, quite often it is seen that they don't even get adequate payment, adequate food to eat. The elder girl children, their fate is even worse, as they are trafficked and put into all kinds of other activities, much against their wishes. These type of children, they are growing day by day in the cities and towns, mainly because of lack of employment, lack of opportunities in the rural areas. But how do you tackle this situation? As Chief Justice said, you may have laws, but laws will only not help. You'll have to have a change in mindset. We don't think of anything when we decide to employ somebody in our house, maybe a child of 12 years or 12, 14 years. We don't feel anything at all. Why? Because they are there, they are available. What is the use of having this Right to Education Act if the children really cannot get the education? After the Right to Education Act was enacted, Article 21A was introduced as a fundamental right. How many people, how many children have really benefited from it? One needs to survey it. Take for instance the act with which we are most concerned, the bonded labor, that is the Child Labor Abolition and Regulation Act 1986. This is an act to do away with bonded labor. What is bonded labor? Bonded labor is something which is the result of the ignorance of people who have taken loans from people who are in an affluent position. The person taking the loan does not know when it is repaid or whether it at all will be repaid. And it goes on for generations after generations even. Take a bank. A bank gives you a loan of 10,000. Before you know it, it has become 40,000. Because sometimes the installments are not paid. And the system is worked in such a way. A burden can become absolutely impossible to carry because of the manner in which this accounting is done. How much of this is being looked into? There are cases which come before us, and when cases come, then we can take action. Otherwise, the courts cannot of themselves or by themselves do anything. The cause has to be brought before the court. Bachpan Bachao Andolan is one of those organizations, one of those non-government organizations who have come forward to the court, who have come forward with what they have done, and they're asking for health relief. One of the very latest cases of how some children from circuses were recovered and how orders were passed that the employment of children in circuses, working in circuses, that was ultimately banned. That was because Bachpan Bachao Andolan brought it to the court. These are just examples, but then again there's a problem. You rescue children, but at the same time you must have an infrastructure to see that they're rehabilitated. An organization like say Bachpan Bachao Andolan or other similar groups, they may recover the kids, they may recover the children, but thereafter where do you put them? The numbers are growing day by day. So there has to be some kind of interaction, some help between the organizations, the welfare departments of the government, and wherever possible the judiciary, to try and see that the infrastructure is available to try and resettle these children. As was said by Mr. Satyarthi, many of these poor children don't even know where they've come from. They don't even know who their parents are. I know because as a matter of fact, when I was in Jharkhand for about 6 months as the Chief Justice there, certain similar things were being done by Mrs. Kabir in the homes. And they did not know, the children didn't know where they came from. What were their addresses? Addresses like, Masjid ke piche ek people gaach hai, uske piche mein mera ghar hai. Now, how do you locate such a person? But it has been done. It has been done with the help of the district legal service authorities, the state legal services authorities. They have gone, those who have, with that commitment, they have gone to the locality, tried to find out exactly from the definition as to where the parents were available. Some parents could be found, in certain cases the parents were dead, people had moved away. So this is an interaction which has to go on with the cooperation of the administration, the judiciary, and the organizations which may not be part of the government, but at the same time they have this commitment to help. Today's program is significant in one way. It is quite right that the children who have come here or the others who have come here, maybe that being part of the march will not be the end of all problems or a solution to all problems, but one thing will happen. Today this march will create an awareness amongst people of the plight of these children, the plight of these people who are trafficked for all kinds of activities including drug peddling. They are made into drug addicts for the purpose of peddling drugs. You'll find in most of these juvenile justice boards in Delhi, the children who are brought there between the ages of say even 8 to 12, say 6 to 12 maybe, they come in because they were caught maybe peddling drugs. What do they know? It is our responsibility as a society to try and bring about this change in our thinking. If we are to make this particular set of people worthwhile citizens of tomorrow. Tomorrow, don't forget, these children also will be part of what we call governance. And if you're not able to take them into hand today and give them value-based ideas, the next 10 years, 20 years, we'll see a remarkable problem in the hands of people in India and abroad as well. Today, I can understand one thing, that this event will possibly be given some publicity in the papers in the Northeast. I hope it is given some publicity also in the other parts of the country and in particular Delhi, which is one of those areas where there's a lot of trafficking of children. With Bachpan Bacho Andolan here, I'm certain that Bhuvan is here. I saw Bhuvan here somewhere. So Bhuvan will possibly also see to it that this has some amount of publicity, not for the sake of publicity, but for the sake of making people aware. Making aware that yes, this is a problem which is common to all parts of the country and we need to do something about it. This march will have that value. The fact that I am here, I have come here to Guwahati before as well, but this is the first time I am visiting as the Chief Justice. Maybe it will have some added value, but the value is that so many people here, children, men from different sections of society have come to take part in this little event, which is going to take place over the next 2-3 days, which will give some kind of a distinct fillip to what is going on in the country and thinking of people. Friends, I don't think we should take any much more time in discussions, and I think it's time we started what we came here for. But thank you very much for having me here. Thank you very much for participating and being part of this very, very, I would say, important occasion. And let us hope that it doesn't end here. And let us hope that it starts here and continues. Thank you.